All right. We are now recording the May 12th, 2020 OEMA Executive Board meeting, virtual Zoom meeting. Paulette, if you would, you'll have to unmute, don't forget, but go ahead and do a roll call for me, please.
Okay. Rob Hill.
Here.
Wendy Marcy. Glenna D. Edwards.
Go ahead, Glenna D.
Here.
Brandon Fetters. Jeff Smith. Steve Loftus.
I'm here.
Arnie Willis.
Here.
I don't know why they give you
Debbie Wagner.
Do that.
Here.
Kip Wilkerson.
Here.
Keith Shadden. Patrick Carl. Kevin Rhodes.
Here.
Adam Longcrier.
I'm here.
Kevin Enlow. We have a quorum.
All right, very
Okay,
good.
well, the number you need to call is 375-6645.
We'll mute Steve for a second. All right. Okay, so as we get started here, I know the minutes came out late last night, so let's just go ahead and take a minute if you have not and read through those. I want to point out a couple of highlights really quick if we can. So if you'll look at the minutes from last meeting, item number 3, COVID-19. Just as a reminder, SurveyMonkey was suggested. The bylaws have to be amended saying that voting will take place at the meeting. So I think we've covered that and we'll talk about that in a little bit. We were going to reach out to OEM and ask that they could host a WebEx meeting, right? Because it can host so many people. So I think right now that's the best option that we have. But I really think, honestly, and this is just Rob Hill's personal opinion, but I think the way things are going with opening up and stuff, things seem to be working fairly well for most places. With that being said, I think there's probably a more than better chance that we'll probably be able to meet in August. We'll have to honor some of those social distancing. So maybe our chair spacing won't be side by side. It'll be a chair gap type of a thing, but I think we can do that. Especially at a fairgrounds. So I think our first option moving forward, so we'll talk about this more in detail in a little bit, but I think our first option is going to be in person, and then our second one's going to be the WebEx. I think that's just the best way to handle it, right? All right. And then in the bylaws changes, we have to get the bylaws out today. They have to be written correctly. They have to be able to be published on the web page. And then in Article 2, the capping at 2,500, it's not going to be in the bylaws. It's going to be an SOP. So, Steve, I'm going to unmute you, and then Glenna D, I want you guys to chime in, but I don't know. That doesn't have to go before anybody, right?
No, it's not even, there's nothing in the bylaws that states anything about how much money we give to the workshops. It's only in the SOP.
Okay, but the SOP doesn't have to be voted on by anybody. It's just operating.
No.
Okay, all right, good. Done, right? We do need to make sure that the membership dues is added to the bylaw.
No.
No?
You don't want money in your bylaws. Put your money in your SOP.
All right, so I just want to make sure that correction, because it's saying here that in the bylaws. So the annual membership is going to be
you'll have to vote on it. You'll have to vote on it, but it doesn't go in your bylaws. Because then every time you change it, you have to change your bylaws when you do money.
Okay, so does it go in the SOP?
Yes, it also goes on the application.
Okay, so if it goes in the SOP, we just put it out there on the agenda item as an increase to the membership, and it's a standalone? Because if it's
Yes.
not bylaws and we don't vote on SOPs.
Yeah.
I don't.
But the membership has to approve the increase in dues. Yeah, but you just don't put the amount of dues in your bylaws.
Okay,
Okay.
so it says that. Glendy, it says that in the bylaws, is that right?
Oh.
That the membership has to vote on the membership dues?
Yes.
No, no, it doesn't say that. We've just always done it that way. So I'm sorry.
Okay, then no.
Oh, I thought it did say that.
Okay, well, we need to, okay, listen, let's hold up. Let's hold up. Because we're just talking about past minutes. So, if everybody is okay with the minutes and there's no changes, let's go ahead and entertain a motion. We can talk about the bylaws here in just a minute, but I'll entertain a motion to accept the bylaws if there's no changes. I mean, the past minutes if there's no changes.
I make a motion. This is going to be.
Yeah.
We
Second.
approve the minutes.
Go ahead, Glenn D.
I make a motion. We approve the minutes.
All right. Who was the second? Was that Steve?
Yes.
Glenn D and Steve. So I have a motion to accept the minutes from April as presented. Any other discussion? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so all those ayes were in favor, yes?
Yes.
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 Very good.
Okay, Rob, in the bylaws, it states that the dues amount shall be determined by simple majority vote of the members, not including corporate members at the annual meeting.
Okay, very good, then. Then perfect. Perfect.
Under Article 6, Section 1.
All right. Well, I got that right here then. Yeah. All right. Very good. That was fast. Let's run down through committee reports really quick. First up will be Miss Glenn D with the financial.
Oh. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. We have $113,948.22. That's 113,948.22.
Okay. Very good. Do you have any outstanding invoices from anybody?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Very good. All right. All right. All right. Let me, I'm gonna have to move you guys over here for just a second, get my email pulled over back to here. I want to read you what Keith sent me. All right. So this is going to be the training report from the training committee. They've been working on training requirements for EMPG, ICS courses, and/or L courses. Nothing new to report at this time. Ready for the conference if training is to be done. Working on training for the 2021 conference. No meeting for last month. We will be scheduling a committee meeting this month. Date not set. All right. Paulette, anything new in membership?
No, sir.
All right. Let's see. I don't see Jeff. No social media. No Brandon Fetters. So there's no web page update. Steve, we'll get to you in the Constitution and Bylaws section of the agenda, the main agenda. No David Ball. And then Glenn D, any merchandise, or Steve, any merchandise to report?
We've got some we want to order, but we're going to wait and see how the conference we'll not have it at the August meeting. We'll get ready for the February or whenever we have it.
Okay, I think that's a good idea. Very good. All right. All right, let's jump down to area vice president reports. So we're going to start off with the Northwest with Steve Loftus, please.
We did not meet last month.
That's probably a good call.
We have a meeting scheduled next week, probably via Zoom.
Okay. Steve, have you guys talked to Harold Tyson and just see how he's holding up? Or, I mean, I know they're kind of in a war zone right now, but.
There's been some contact with him. I haven't spoken with him personally. We've been kind of Facebooking back and forth, but I know Matt has been talking with him.
Okay. Yeah, I imagine so. Matt's probably catching a lot of those transports out of Guyman to Woodward.
Oh yeah.
Going to overwhelm Woodward pretty quick and put them in a bind. So, yeah, okay, very good. Skip for the Southwest, please.
We haven't met since January, and that's about all that I have.
Okay, very good. Hey, Steve, jumping back to you, when you guys said you didn't have a meeting, that was a face-to-face meeting. Have you guys done any virtual?
No, we had nothing last month.
Okay, very good. All right. So for the Northeast area, I'm going to say that we have not met. I will say the Northeast area does meet with our area coordinator every Tuesday afternoon at 2:00. And that's to talk about, and we do it virtually, and that's to talk about PPE requirements, filling out the Excel sheet for the burn rates, the on hands, the needs in the future and stuff. And it's usually a short meeting. Like today, we're going to have Alden on. He's going to talk about the IAs, SLA, and the stuff that you have to have and the form that you have to have it so that we can start submitting our requests for payments. So that's about it. Okay, Ernie for the Southeast, please.
We haven't met neither in person nor virtually.
Okay.
And our area coordinator's doing the same thing yours is. They're meeting now at 9:30 today, and it's about the same thing, PPEs, and there's a distribution point down in Pontotoc County, and then I guess they're distributing pet food out of McAllister. So that's to coordinate those efforts.
Okay, very good. Thank you. All right. Last but definitely not least, Miss Deb from the Central area.
We did meet in April via Zoom, and basically was a kind of a rundown of what everybody was doing in terms, how they were responding and how all that was going. And then what else? I'm looking at our notes, which Brandon has, so I don't know if he put them on the website yet or not, but we're still doing our monthly communication drills. And we're also doing PPE tracking, but all the individual jurisdictions are doing it themselves and submitting it to Oklahoma County, who's coordinating it.
Okay. Okay. Brings us to item number 4 on the agenda, the youth preparedness camp. So Deb sent me an email, and this is copied right out of her email. It says, on a group email this morning, we decided to cancel this year's youth preparedness camp. Thank you for being to donate. We will ask again next year. So maybe with all the things that are being canceled and the things that we normally donate to, I want you to be thinking about this. It'll be under a new administration, obviously. But a lot of you will be the same, but maybe we can donate double, right? If we didn't donate this year, maybe we can donate double next year. Just obviously it depends on budget and finances, but maybe we can do that.
That'd be great.
Okay. Anything on number 4? Okay. Number 5, Oklahoma Department of Education. I put this on here because I sent out an email to you all. So this is kind of a weird deal. This is one of those things that has bounced around from several people and finally made it to the president of the association. And obviously Michael Ann works for the Oklahoma Department of Education. And so here's the things that they want to know from the local jurisdiction. These are the things that they're trying to collect locally to put together a database in the event that a community is impacted by severe weather, specifically a tornado, but storm shelters in your local schools. Does your school district have a storm shelter which is open to the community during severe weather? Okay, just yes or no and the school name, right? That's all they're needing. Does your school district have a storm shelter which is not open to the community at any time, only available during the school day for school population, right? So that's us. We don't, in Stillwater, as an example, we have, and technically I don't even like the phrase storm shelter because they're not, right? They're just hardened rooms that have been reinforced with steel and concrete, and they're a large facility room. There's Brandon Fetters right now. They're a large facility room that can handle a lot of people. It just has thicker walls, thicker ceiling, and reinforced. So with that being said, I don't even consider that a storm shelter. So when I submitted my information, I put them as an area of refuge because it does not meet the FEMA requirements for a storm shelter. Do whatever you want to do. I just wanted that made very clear to them that it was an area of refuge. It's better than being in the hallway, and it's better than just being in a classroom that may have windows and stuff along the exterior edge. So that is what that is. Oklahoma Department of Education is trying to reach out. They're trying to use the local emergency manager as the coordination piece, right? I said, okay, so you guys are Oklahoma Department of Education. Why don't you just reach out to all your area coordinators? And they said, well, we wanted to go through the emergency management process. You got to remember Michael Land's there, right? Everything goes through the local emergency manager. By getting this information and funneling it through the local EM, that local EM now knows what's available in their school district if they didn't already know. Okay, so large jurisdictions like yours, Deb, and it's that may be very beneficial if something happens, you know immediately what you have and where you have it. But Ernie, like in Seminole, your jurisdiction may be just a little bit smaller, and you may already know all that, right? You may already have that. And
Let me add this, Rob. I think it probably has come down from the Department of Education because my wife is on the school board, and they addressed and adopted a policy last night, just like Stillwater. So their shelters are only for the students in the building. And they had to kind of renege, not that this board made that commitment, but years ago, one of the buildings was built and there was a safe room included in the bond issue, and it was promised it'd be made open to the public. But they've kind of outgrown that facility. That safe room, which at that time was kind of a multi-purpose room, is now a classroom, and it's crammed full of desks and whatever, so it doesn't really work well anyway. So they clearly defined a policy last night that their facilities would go in lockdown. Parents would not be allowed in, kids would not be allowed out during a tornado warning, and shelters would only be for the students and faculty, staff.
Okay. So I know we're all super busy, and so does the Department of Education, but if you get an opportunity and you can reach out to your administrators and see if they will collect that information for you, that would be absolutely fabulous, right? Collect it, keep it for your records. So anyway, with that being said, that's good information to have for us. All right, so all right, any other discussion on number 5? All right, number 6. So number 6, again, forgive me. It was last minute. I mean, it was the day before we're having a meeting, right? I mean, I'm just barely trying to make the 24-hour, and I didn't even get that done. But so we kind of talked about this a little bit in the minutes from last month. So what happens if we can't hold an August meeting and an election of officers, right? So what we talked about earlier was the first option was going to be that we will use whatever facility it is that we're going to use. And Kelly, forgive me, but are we going to use Shawnee, or go to King? We were going to Kingfisher.
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 Yeah, Kingfisher.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm sorry. So we're going to go to Kingfisher, and we're going to try to observe the social distancing by having the chairs, when they're spaced out, have the chairs. So it'll be one chair space, one chair a space, one chair space. So
Yeah, and I can tell you that the room there in Kingfisher holds up to 900 people, and they have 600 chairs. So it's plenty big enough to be able to do social distancing if that's how we want to do it.
okay. Well, I think that's the option that we shoot for. And our second option, and this is open for discussion, right? Any of these are open for discussion. And please, I want you to offer up stuff. But our second option would be to go through OEM for the WebEx to try to get everybody on right now, because the way the WebEx is working, you know, there's a chat room, people can chat. There are things that they can say in the side. So if we have a vote, you know, people can voice their opinion through the chat. If there's just a discussion, you know, we can open it up so that person can talk or whatever. So that would be, go ahead.
Hey, Rob.
Yes, ma'am.
They also, on WebEx, I think we're actually going to try it tomorrow, but they have a Q&A feature where when you ask a question through the chat service, you can mark it as being addressed.
Oh, nice.
So I think we're gonna test that out on tomorrow's call, so we'll be able to see how it works. Because I don't think we've actually ever used it before, but
Right.
that also might come in handy for you guys, because then you could show that each question or comment that came up was addressed.
Okay. Kelly, let me ask you this, since we're talking about this, would this be something that we could employ the assistance of Zach and Putnam on?
Oh, absolutely. And my suggestion would be that we just keep this as a backup. We could plan for it and be ready for it if we have to cancel the physical location, but you know, we can move forward planning for a physical location unless we find out that we really shouldn't do that.
Okay, very good. Steve, in the minutes, I saw somewhere when we talked about the location that we needed the opportunity to be able to back out at the last minute without being penalized. Is that something that would be able to happen fairly easy?
That I was leaving all that up to Kelly and Brian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, whenever I talk to them, haven't actually talked to Brian. When I first reached out after our last call, I didn't reach him, and then to be honest, I kind of set it aside and forgot about it. And so I reached out again this week, and he wasn't in the office, but I talked to someone at the, I guess, front desk, and she was able to go ahead and book the date for us. But she didn't have it, and I don't think that backing out will be an issue, because we'll have to sign a contract, but I think that we can work that into the contract because they understand that there's a lot of uncertainty right now. So I don't think that will be a problem. The only thing that I would say could be a potential issue is that she wasn't sure how pricing would work. She said that because Steve is involved, that Steve can book the county facilities at no cost, but they have to make sure that it's, I guess, an allowable event or something. She was going to talk to Brian, and so I figured I'll follow back up with Brian later this week. And if need be, Steve, we might need you to call him directly and just chat with him about that.
No problem. I'll just walk down the hall.
Okay, because the charge could be, she said that their regular charge for that room is $550. They have a $750 deposit, but you get that back. So anyway, hopefully we'll be able to get it for free, or at least a reduced cost.
Okay, well, I'm going to go out on a limb, and hopefully this limb doesn't break, but if that is something that we need to help with, we can help with that.
Okay.
So, I mean, honestly, that's pretty cheap.
Yeah, it's not bad. And since we're not paying for meals or anything,
Yeah, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Is everybody good with the first option being Kingfisher, doing social distancing, 600 chairs with a 900 person capacity, right? Second option is the WebEx with the Q&A portion, and then we're going to try that out tomorrow, apparently, in the meeting. So, awesome, all good stuff. Any thoughts? Any concerns?
I think we need to make that decision probably at our July meeting, whether we're going to try to meet in person or WebEx.
I agree, because God Almighty, I can't even remember. Did we set the date?
Yeah, it's August.
August 12th is the
Yeah.
date that we booked the room for.
Yes.
But if we need to adjust that, we can, because we haven't really announced it yet.
Okay. 30 days too late? Too late of a notice?
To go do
I don't think
WebEx versus in person?
Yeah, is 30 days too late for an in-person meeting that's going to require somebody? You don't think so, Kevin? You're pretty good on that? Skip, what do you think?
What?
30 days.
That'd probably work for me. I mean, it's just, nothing's really set in stone. You can't.
I see what Steve's doing. Steve's doing the bylaws right there, making sure.
Article 11, Section 1 states that we will meet at least once annually at a time and place designated 30 days in advance.
There you go. All right. Kennedy, you got something?
The only, and I'm sitting here looking, if the schedule is August 12th for that meeting, then our bylaws are not going to be out 90 days before the meeting.
90 days from today if we can get it posted.
Well, isn't the proposed change to the bylaws that it be at least 90 days in advance to coincide with the nomination committee? Not to throw the monkey wrench, I don't want to. But
There's 31 days in July, so we actually have 1 day buffer there.
Brandon, can you hear me?
Yeah, Rob,
actually,
I
we
can hear
haven't,
you.
sorry, we haven't changed that bylaw yet, so this year it's 30 days. So never mind.
Brandon, once we get through the bylaws and we get all these approved, these are going to have to be uploaded today and available.
Yes, sir.
Can you get
Okay,
that?
I will make them uploaded. I can have them. Yeah, I can have them later this afternoon.
Okay. I know that kind of puts the bite on you, and I'm sorry about that, but with 1 day buffer, because we're going to have to go out and we're going to have to send out a mass notification to everybody and let them know that the proposed bylaw changes for this August are on the web page, and that they can go and view those there. So
Do you want me to send an email out, Rob, to everyone?
so yes, if you can, we need to include the so Brandon, you need, once you get that uploaded, send Paulette the exact web address link, right? I don't want people to have to go to the web page and then look for it unless you make it very obvious, right, on the front page. So if you can do that, great. If not, I need her to have the direct link.
Okay.
Paulette, I need you to use the mass notification. That way we hit everybody. Can you do that?
So
I'll
we're
put
paying
it on the
I'm not
front page
super
later.
familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. I got 3 people talking at once. Hold on just a second.
Okay.
Hold on, Gladys. Hold on just a second. Paulette.
I'm not super familiar with it, but I'll look at it and make sure I can do it.
Okay, well, listen, we can also, if I know Wendy is ill, but you said she's feeling better, that might be something she could do from home if we already had it already pre-typed and ready to go.
Okay.
That might be something she could help us with. I hate to bother her while she's ill, but she's the professional on it.
Right.
That she could get it out to everybody today.
Okay. Well, and I was thinking if I couldn't do that, I can just copy and all the email addresses off of the spreadsheet and email it that way. If you don't mind that, I mean,
I don't care. Listen, I actually prefer both.
okay.
I actually prefer both. So if we can use the mass notification system, and if we can use email, that would be
Okay.
great. And then we'll make sure that it's on the web page first. Glenady, go ahead. Brandon, I'll get to
No,
you.
I was going to say, we're paying $1,000 to have a rave system. We need to utilize it.
I understand. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to. All right, Brandon, go ahead, bub.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'll get it all uploaded on the website. I'll have them get it done this evening sometime as soon as you guys send me what you want on there, and I'll get it all updated by the end of the day, hopefully. So.
Okay, so Brandon, I know I want to be nitpicky here, and this is why my guys don't like me, but you said we can get it done today.
Yes.
You said we can get it done this evening, and then you said we can get it done tonight. So can you, as soon as can you get it up?
I will get it done before 5.
Okay, awesome, perfect.
Well, is that a better answer? Okay.
That's good. That's good. That's what I need right there, bub. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Yep,
Okay.
not a problem.
Okay. All right. All right. So first option, Kingfisher social distancing. Second option's the WebEx with the Q&A, right? We're going to want to include that in that information moving forward, and the decision will be made in July. Okay, Paulette, so that's what we're looking for, is we want them to have the bylaw information that is going to come out of this meeting today. Steve's going to send that to you when he gets those typos corrected. He's going to send you all that information. Then we're going to include that first option. It's going to be at the Kingfisher County Fairgrounds with social distancing. Measures employed. That's our first option. The second option will be a WebEx that will be hosted by OEM that will have question and answer abilities for voting purposes.
Say that again about the WebEx, hosted by OEM.
So our second option, if we cannot meet in person under our first option in Kingfisher, will be a WebEx hosted by OEM, broadcasted, WebEx hosted by OEM with question and answer capabilities for voting on the bylaw changes and the executive board members. Does that include, guys, does that include the, who's up this year, area vice presidents or alternates?
Both.
Area, both.
Okay, so we'll need to do that as well. So when you say executive board members, go ahead and include the area and alternate vice president. You good, Paulette? Just, you can shake. Okay, okay. I just want to make sure I didn't move before you had a chance to get that down. Okay, number 7, unless there's any other comment on number 6. Number 7 is the bylaw changes. So Steve sent out yesterday bylaw changes. So the way mine looks, I printed mine off in color. The way mine looks is black is the article, the current, red is the suggestion, and blue is the reason why we're doing it, right? So we're not going to be able to meet face to face, and people got to understand why we're doing this. So let's go through Article 5, Section 5, business year. Okay, now, guys, I'm just telling you, this should be a review. This should not be, we should not be making changes. This should just be a review and something that is outstanding. But Section 5 currently reads, business year shall be 2 calendar years in length, commencing October 1 of the first calendar year and ending on September 30th of the second calendar year. In the red, I have the business year shall be 2 calendar years in length, commencing on July 1 Somebody got a lot of noise in the background. All right. Section 5, the business year. The correction is the business year shall be 2 calendar years in length, commencing on July 1 of the first calendar year and ending on June 30th of the second calendar year. The reason, this puts the business year in concert with the state and local government fiscal year as far as start and end dates go and aligns with other dates specified in other sections of the Constitution bylaws. All right, that's the reason. Everybody good? Okay. Article 6, Section 1, annual dues. I'm not going to read all that. The first line is the one that is changed, and it is actually a correction, but it says the dues period for OEMA will run from July 1 until June 30th each calendar year. All right. All that does is that brings us up to speed with the changes in the year that we're looking at, right? So it just takes it from July 1 to June 30th. And then at the bottom, there was one instead of saying to pay annual dues, it says dues. All right. The reason for this is this aligns the dates and clarifies that while the business year is 2 calendar years long, dues are to be paid every calendar year. All right. Article 7, Section 3, method of selection. The current one reads, the officers of the OEMA shall be selected as follows and in accordance with procedures established in the bylaws. The president and secretary shall be elected to 2-year terms of office at the annual conference in accordance with the bylaws and every even-numbered year. All right. So the new one reads, and we're only changing Section A, the president and secretary shall be elected to 2-year terms of office at the annual meeting, not conference, the annual meeting in accordance with bylaws and every even-numbered year. So reason, we have an annual meeting. It just has been held adjacent to the conference. Since there is doubt as to whether the conference will ever happen again for good form, we should refer to gathering of the association as our annual meeting as outlined elsewhere in the document. Also acceptable would be business meeting. Okay. And then treasurer was corrected. All right. And then Section C, it just says area vice president shall be elected at the annual meeting instead of conference. All right, and we do that in Section D, annual meeting. And then Article 11, Section 1, full membership meetings. Current reading says the Oklahoma Emergency Management Association will meet at least once annually at a time and place designated 30 days in advance. In addition, each region of the association defined in Article 1, Paragraph A will be encouraged to conduct an area meeting at least once annually. All right. The new version reads, the Oklahoma Emergency Management Association will meet at least once annually at a time and place designated 90 days in advance. 90 days versus 30. So this would be what would catch us next year if we had to do this same thing. In addition, each region of the association as defined in Article 1, Paragraph A will be encouraged to conduct an annual meeting at least annually. So I have a comment in here that
I just said, should we say at least 90 days in advance rather than 90 days in advance, just for people who are going to pick it apart?
yeah, we can say that. Are you okay with that, Steve? At least 90 days in advance?
Okay.
Okay. You all right?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you've been working hard on this, bud. I know. I promise.
Oh, it won't take long to make the changes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. The reason is the president is required to appoint a nominations committee at least 90 days prior to the annual meeting and announcing the time and place in the same announcements as the president advising the membership of whom the nominations committee members are would make it easier on the president. All right. Then Article 14 under amendments, all it does is in that last line, it says the changes committee at least 60 days in advance of the annual meeting or meeting at which it will be considered, right? So just consistent terminology. All right. Article 5, Section 5, business year. Section A, number 5, number 1, Northwest area. Counties of Alfalfa, Beaver, Blaine, Cimarron, Custer, Dewey, Garfield, or Ellis, Garfield, Kingfisher, Major, Roger Mills, Texas, Woods, and Woodward. Reason, this is just cleaning up some mistakes on some copies of the bylaws. Blaine County is listed in the Northwest on some copies and in the central area on other copies of the bylaws. This is just simply putting it where it belongs. That's it.
So we need to delete it from central area.
Yes.
Okay, because it's still listed there
Right. I mean,
on the copy I have. Okay.
on some it is and some it isn't.
So this is just housekeeping right here, cleaning up the language.
Right. And then on Article 12 and Article 5 are the same thing, fiscal year, business year. We really don't need to have both articles in the bylaws. We could take out Article 12 because it's, you know, it states the fiscal year, and basically it's the same thing as our business year in
Oh.
Section 5.
Do they both say the same thing?
Basically, yes.
Okay, so not to be nitpicky, but they either say the same thing or they don't. So basically,
Well,
what are we losing?
that both of them are 2 calendar years in length. Says the fiscal year shall be from October 1 to 30th of September, which we changed.
Right.
The business year says business year shall be 2 calendar years in length, commencing October 1 of the first calendar year and ending September 30th of the second calendar year.
Okay.
So, I mean,
Which Article 5 was there first, so I say we get rid of Article 12 if we're not losing anything critical in it. Or is there a reason?
well,
Doesn't-
Article 5
Doesn't fiscal year mean business year? Fiscal means that's the year that the business is taking place.
right.
So let me ask you guys that have been doing this stuff before, Kevin Rhodes. Is there a reason not to have it in there twice?
I see no reason to have it twice. I would probably change the, I know y'all will think I'm crazy, but I would change the title of Section 5 to fiscal year and remove Article 12 because as Steve said, they contain the same thing. I would just have it by its proper name.
I agree.
Okay, so Article 5, Section 5 is going to say fiscal year, and Article 12 is going to go.
To be deleted or omitted. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Steve, in that, you'll just have to put in your blue type underneath that Article 12. This is up for omission because it's redundant to Article 5, Section 5 fiscal year. And then you'll have to put in blue on Article 5, Section 5, the name change from business year to fiscal year.
Okay, that it's because it's up for omission because it's redundant.
To
Yeah.
Article 5, Section 5.
And then we're going to change business year to fiscal year.
Yeah, fiscal, FISCAL. And in the blue, you can put terminology, consistency of terminology, or whatever you want to put.
That'll work.
Okay. Steve, when you get done, with those changes later today, if you would, when you send Brandon a copy of those, will you send me a copy and send Paulette a copy?
Sure will.
Awesome. Okay. Okay, then B, workshop funds, we're gonna have that up, so that's gonna have to be documented somewhere. It's not a bylaw change, it's just up for vote this year. And this is gonna be a you, Paulette. Okay, sorry. This is gonna be you, Paulette. So in addition to first option being Kingfisher with social distancing, the second option with the WebEx, president and the secretary up for re-election. Area vice presidents, alternate vice presidents. There's going to be a vote for everybody to raise the dues from $35 to $50. The annual membership. We're proposing to raise it $15 this year, so $35 to $50. If they need justifications for the increase in the area workshops getting $2,500 instead of $2,000, plus all the groups that we're supporting, plus the additional costs that go with helping to support the annual conference. So Glenady, just to be clear, number B under 7B, that's wrong. It shouldn't be bylaw changes out of the membership for 2,500. That's a SOP change.
That's correct. It had me confused.
Yep. Listen, y'all got to speak out on these things. We're all in this together, and I can't always remember everything. But Paulette, were you good on that? Okay, good. Okay, sorry. I know I'm putting a lot on you. Now listen, if you need help today with some of this, don't be afraid to ask. I know you're in Guyman, and I know you got a lot going on, so don't be afraid to ask.
Paulette, do you want me to do the minutes?
I'm working on them. I mean, you mean write them out?
Well, type them out, but do you want me to take that off your plate?
I usually wait until pretty close to the last week, but if you want to, absolutely. I don't know how well my writing is though. You may have to watch the video once it's back up.
It's all good.
Hey, Rob.
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hey,
We talking about these SOPs. Are they written anywhere?
Hold on. Glenady, I got Kevin ahead before you.
Okay, go ahead, Kevin.
Are these SOPs written anywhere? Because I've never seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have a copy of the SOPs for the executive board.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send you what I have later.
Thanks.
And they were adopted and just handed down.
They probably need to be gone over too.
Boy,
Did you say, oh yeah, Steve?
I said, oh boy.
Oh boy. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So Kelly has been very patient, right? But
Rob.
Yes, ma'am.
I believe, do we not have to vote on approving the bylaw changes that are going to be submitted to the membership? Does that not have to be recorded that the board approves the changes that's going to the membership?
We can definitely do that. You know what, we did change them today by striking 12 and changing 5. So let's do that. With the changes that were made to the bylaws today, I'll entertain a motion to accept those.
So moved.
Okay, all right. Get a second.
I'll second it. Glendae.
Yeah. Kevin, you look like you had reservation. Are we good? Okay, thanks. All right, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you all. Okay, any old business? Okay. Do we want to try and, gosh dang, do we want to try and do a virtual Zoom meeting for June?
I'd say yes at this point.
Probably.
Does anybody have any opposition to a virtual meeting in June? All right, virtual meeting in June. I'll send out the notification, and listen, I promise I will try to get this out in a couple of weeks, right? Try to get it out in a couple of weeks. All right. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Moved.
Second.
I make the motion.
All right. Yeah.
Hey, who made the
Wow.
motion?
Kennedy and Ernie.
Okay, got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, we are adjourned from OEMA Executive. Let's jump right into the conference committee meeting. Glenn or Kelly, I'm gonna just let you have this real quick.
All right. Well, I honestly don't have a whole lot of updates. We have heard back from a couple of the facilities that put in bids, and a lot of their sales staff have been temporarily furloughed. So we are at a little bit of a standstill with that situation. We don't have a bid in place yet, but the bids that we have are still in effect. So we're hoping to get all of that finalized before the June meeting, sometime within the next 30 days. But I just don't have a clear timeline on how that's going to work out. Of course, we have to consider the same things for this event that we're considering for the August event, which is that we have to have some contract position in place that will allow us to back out if needed. We assume that everything will be basically back to normal in February, but it's just hard to know for sure. So those are some of the things that we're looking at right now. We haven't really started talking about content yet because there is just so much stuff up in the air, and I think that we're going to run into a situation where we'll probably have a lot of COVID-19 related content that we could bring to the conference, but people may be pretty burned out on it. So we thought we'd kind of wait and see what happens in the next couple months as to where we want to go with topics and session speakers and everything. And of course, we still have to get through storm season. So anyway, they don't have a whole lot of updates, but that's kind of where we're at the moment, and hopefully we'll know more by the next meeting. If we are able to get the bid secure or the contract secured before the next meeting, I'll definitely share that information with you guys. We won't wait until the next board meeting to let you know.
Okay. All right. We're good to go with February, right? As far as OMES is concerned.
Yeah, I don't see any problem with February.
Okay. All right. Very good. And I'm just going to cross that off because we pretty much have that taken care of. We got the date, we got the location, we got the conference training that we can hold. And then is there any last minute logistics for February that are, well, never mind. We're not even going to touch that. Okay. Does anybody else have any concerns or questions for Kelly at this time? Okay. Kelly, thank you. I know you guys are busy. I know your days are nothing but COVID related stuff, but all right. I didn't really call this to order because we really didn't take any action on it. I knew we weren't going to. It's just going to be an update. So as far as I'm concerned, we're adjourned. Anybody have any last minute concerns, anything that's going on locally that's not going well?
Rob, the only thing, is there things that we need to be doing for the August meeting?
Well, Keith has the training.
Okay.
He has that pretty well wrapped up. So it'll be everybody that shows up will participate in the training. OEM's going to have the EMPG session or section of it. We're going to have the board meeting. We might have some expenditures come up where we pay for the facility or something like that, and then maybe meals or something may come up. But right now, I think we were talking about letting those people out or something. Maybe we can. It's just really hard to gauge how many people are going to be there, right? So we don't really know what to do. Being one of the first events that might be able to happen in August, EMs all over the state of Oklahoma and Region 6 might show up for that matter. I mean, I don't know, opportunity to get out. So, and then again, they might still be leery and not want to get out, but I don't know.
Well, all I'm saying is you've got a board and use it. You don't try to do it all by yourself and get stressed out. There are many of us on the board that can jump in and help, and don't be afraid to ask for it.
Oh, trust me, sister.
Did you hear me, son? Did you hear me, son?
I did. Trust me.
Okay.
At this point, I can't. We're going to have to do it together. So,
yeah. Okay.
But well, and I appreciate that. But I think we're sitting in pretty good shape. I mean, the biggest thing is getting the stuff out today, right? Getting the bylaw stuff out today, getting it loaded to the web page, getting the option 1, option 2, the president, the secretary, area vice presidents, alternate vice presidents, and the $35 membership to $50 membership out, loaded on the web page so that people can understand what we're looking at. And listen, it just needs to be simple. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, these are things that are going to be presented in the August meeting for vote, right? So doesn't have to be hard. Just needs to be outlined, right? These are the options that we're looking at for August, and then here's what's up for a vote, and then the bylaw changes and stuff. So I think it should be fairly easy.
Okay.
So again, Paulette, if you need help today with any of that, you just let me know. Okay, just reach out to me and we can get it up. But Brandon will get it up today, and then we'll turn right around this evening. And I'm okay if it's after 5, so long as it's before midnight. But we can get the email sent out that the information is on the webpage about the August 1-day annual business meeting. Right, that's what this is. It's going to be the annual business meeting with training. This is not going to be a conference. And then I think we should be good. Any last minute concerns? Okay. Well, we're adjourned from the executive board meeting. We didn't adjourn for the conference committee or anything because it was just a quick review for February. But any last minute questions or comments, concerns?
I have one question. Is Paulette still on?
He is.
Who moved and seconded approving the April minutes?
Kennedy and Steve,
Okay,
and that passed.
got it. Thanks.
Yep. All right. I love y'all. We'll talk to you next month, if not sooner.
Love you too, Rob. Take care.
Thanks, Rob.
See
Bye,
y'all.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Where did my mouse go?
Thank you.
You bet. We'll see y'all.